Grand Rising, everyone. Hope you guys are okay. I hope you're doing well, and I hope everything is going as planned. This is Decimus, and you are welcome to the channel of truth, enlightenment, freedom, and the channel of breaking empathy. If you are new on this channel, I talk about narcissism and narcissistic abuse. I talk about spirituality. I talk about personal and self development. And if that's what resonates with you, I invite you guys to join us, give us a like, share this video with friends, and you may subscribe if you haven't already. And for those that have always been with us, you are welcome back. And I thank you for your love and support. Cycle breakers. In every family, there is a person, there is an individual that will be the one to break cycles. We're talking about generational cycles. We're talking about repetitive cycles that have usually been a problem or an issue for a particular family. And those cycles have been carried on throughout generations. But there always comes a time when everything has got to end. As a cycle breaker, you have actually signed up for this. You have come here for that particular purpose. In the early days of your journey, you may not have figured it out. You didn't understand what it is your mission was. You didn't understand what it is you came here to do. You pretty much could have been doing everything that everybody else does. But at some point in time, you realize that there is some things you're supposed to do. There is a way you're supposed to move. There's a direction you're supposed to go. A curse breaker or a cycle breaker is the chosen one. That member of the family, we're talking about the black sheep of the family. If you want to prove or if you want to know that you're the cycle breaker of your particular family, I've got for you 5 signs that you are the cycle breaker. There may be some other signs as we carry along with the video, depending on the download. Number 1, as a curse breaker, you are or you have noticed that you are different from the rest. You may be that person who actually doesn't look like other members of the family. Not necessarily physically that you don't resemble them. You could resemble them sometimes. But still, you are going to notice that you have a different lifestyle from the rest. It is the way, the clothes you choose to wear. It is the food you may choose to eat. It can be sometimes an activity that your family is involved in, but you're not a part of that activity. Now, this is what we're talking about. We mean that there is a member of the family that doesn't actually fit in, okay? So a lot of your family members think, you may have had your parents telling you things like, why are you not like the others? You're always doing this, your other family members are doing that, you're going this way, your family members are going that way. So there is a sense of indifference. Everybody notices that. You actually notice that you're not like the rest. A lot of them, they like football. You like doing another activity. You're not into sports. A lot of them, they believe in certain things. You do not believe in those things. And that makes you stand out. Sometimes you could have had problems where other members were confronting you because you didn't want to do something else that they was doing. Okay? You felt like you was in your own lane doing your own thing. They was going left, you was going right. When they was going up, you was going down. When they was going down, you was going up. You are different from the rest of your family members. That is because the nature of your mission and the nature of your purpose is completely different. You are going to be doing different things than what other family members are doing in that unit. That is why from the very beginning, you will notice you are different from the rest. Number 2, for you to be able to know that you are a cycle breaker is when you have done things that are taboo. Let's say you come from a certain culture. That culture believes in our, let's say, marrying at a certain age, or they believe in uh, like sex after marriage, and you're the only person who has, for example, gotten pregnant. You're a woman. You have gotten pregnant before the right time, okay, at an early stage, and that thing is considered taboo. Of course, you've been punished for that, okay? It's like you'll betrayed the entire family because you've done something that nobody ever feels or believes that it should be done by any family member. Or let's say your family believes in marrying from their own tribe or their own religion or their own faith. You're the only person that has actually gotten married outside of your family culture and belief system. You are supposed to marry people of your type. Let's say, for example, there are some families which don't believe in intermarriages, okay, marrying from outside of their, culture and traditions. You have gone ahead and done that thing, and still it has gotten into problems. In some cases, you have been disowned by the family because whatever it is you have done has been considered taboo. Now, when I was in holidays recently, I visited an island called the Women's Island, and I was trying to find out the history. I found out the history of that island. And the guy told me that on that island, there used to be women back in the days who used to get pregnant before they got married. That was the belief at that time. That was the culture. That was what everybody followed. That was the system. And when a woman got pregnant at that time, they would disown that woman, and parents would carry her and take her very far deep into the lake. There was a small island, and they would drop her there, and that woman would stay there on her own. She would sleep there. She would stay there until she would starve to death. I've already posted a video on that trip, and I've explained what was going on that island. Now, those are the people we're talking about. You have done things that are taboo, and that is why you have been disowned by the family. If you have not been disowned by the family, you have actually been punished severely because of that thing that you have done and is going against the family tradition and beliefs. If you have done that thing, then your best belief you are a curse and cycle breaker in your family. Number three, that you are the curse breaker in your family is when you have been rejected by family members. You have faced a lot of rejection. The rejection keeps on going on and on throughout your life, but you notice that your family had nothing to do with you. So there was family meetings. You wasn't invited for those meetings. Sometimes these meetings happened behind your back. Even sometimes during those meetings, they was discussing you in those meetings. And usually you can find that because of that rejection, you have also been isolated. So there is, let's say, for example, there are these days when it's, Christmas time, people are opening boxes, people have received some gifts or whatever, some presents, only for you to look closely and none of those gifts is yours. So you haven't actually received anything during that time when you're in the unit. And even then, you might find some families where people are usually close together. They do things together, they move around together, they share information together, but still, for some reason, nobody wants to interact with you. While they are going around visiting other members of the family, they're not coming around to visit you. You have already been rejected by your family members. On a subconscious level, they feel that you're different and they feel like you're an alien. And they feel also that you're a threat. Like I've said in one of my videos, you're the uninvited guest. A curse breaker and a cycle breaker is an uninvited guest in any setting. We're not even only talking about families. It can be family, it can be a job, workplace, it can be a church, it can be a school, where you're the only one who has actually been suspended from school because you did something that was against the school rules and regulations. So you could have been suspended from school at an early age. You also could have been abandoned or maybe sometimes sent out of the family unit at an early age as well. So you could have been also fired from work because you did something that goes against the job or that corporation beliefs systems. Okay. Now, rejection has happened earlier on in the journey. It will still continue to happen along your journey because whatever it is you're doing or whatever it is you decide to do is not going to be accepted by the people around you. That is one of the biggest signs as well that you are a curse breaker. You came here to break generational cycles as well. Sign number 4 that you are a curse breaker or the generational cycle breaker is when you have had the most difficult life in your unit. Like I've said, it's any setting, it's a family, it's a job place, it's a church, it's a community. Everybody seems to go along with life pretty much normal, doing what they need to do and get things done and things like that. Even sometimes you may see them achieving some levels of success. But when you look at your life personally, you're still the only one who has been struggling in that unit. Most of your family members are successful. They have bought cars, they have built homes, they have gotten married, and you are still the one who hasn't yet had anything happen in your life. You may get it twisted and you may think that things are not working in your favor. But behind the scenes, ladies and gentlemen, everybody around you is about to get surprised. The very moment you remember and you discover your purpose, you are going to know the reason as to why things have always moved that way and why your life has usually been the hardest compared to other members of that family system. Is why sometimes you see a lot of curse breakers when they ever discover and find out what their mission is on this planet. Is why you see a lot of times they are going to be they are going to be the ones that are most hated within the system, and other family members are going to hate on you. They are going to call you names. They will call you crazy. They will throw all these insults at you because you're doing something that they never thought you could do. Now, if that thing happens to you, you need to know you have got to exercise patience. You may not necessarily have found your path, or your path or your purpose, but at some point in time, it is going to come to you, and your purpose is supposed to drive you to achieve very huge levels of success. At some point, you realize that you are the one that is actually standing out in the entire unit, something you never thought that you could do. You are the one doing that. The last one, which I would believe could have been common to some, not all, some people, is when you have been the first person to leave home at an early age. Now, you see, as you're going through life in your entire system, in your entire family system, you may have started getting bored, the rejection, the isolation, the fitting in and everything. Everything doesn't make sense in your unit. You are questioning everything that your family believes in or everything that your family is doing. And this may have pushed you to walk away from your unit at a very young age. You may find sometimes people, or maybe kids, who have walked away at the age of 10. They just ran away from their family. They could have ended up as street kids at some point, maybe at the age of 10. They ran away from the family because maybe they was being punished or they was being tortured by their parents because they was different, because they didn't believe in something. And this has pushed them to exit that family system at a very young age. Now, even if you may not understand this, it may not even make a lot of sense. At some point in time, you're going to realize that everything that is going on around you in your own personal life is designed to push you to your mission and to push you to exactly where you need to be. There is successful people who have been homeless. When you hear their stories, they'll tell you things that they left their home when they was 10, they left their home when they was 15, they they was pushed into marriage when they was 14. So those kind of things, you have seen cases where people have achieved huge levels of success. But there's a story, a very deep story that they are talking about where they may have left home at a very young age. Now, that is also a sign that you're a curse breaker in your family. Another bonus one is when you have a different belief system. You come from a family of Muslims, for example. I'm just giving you an example. I do not have an issue with religion. You have a family that believe in they are Muslims. You read the Quran. Some of them read the Bible. They are very religious people. But in the entire unit, you are the only one that is spiritual. Okay, you do not conform to religion. You do not conform to those things, strong beliefs that your family believes in. You may, for example, have come from a family which has got a very strong witchcraft background. And at some point in time, you realized that that thing wasn't resonating with your soul, and you refused to participate in those practices that they was doing. So your belief system is different. When they was going to church, you was going around and doing some meditation, spending some time in the, garden, spending some time at the beach, spending time at the park, taking some time to meditate, to go and do things that really resonate and conform with the soul. When I was on holidays, again, I give you another example. Maybe that's the reason as to why the universe was showing me these things. So I met this little girl in college at the time, and out of the whole entire team that was at the beach, there was a little girl somewhere next to the lake, at the beach. She was sitting there meditating at a very young age. I was very, very surprised. So I came closer to this girl and I was asking her, "Oh, you're doing meditation?" I recognized that she was meditating. So I waited for her to finish the session, and then I came and I spoke with her. "Oh, I see you're meditating. That is really nice. It's a very nice, thing." So I was asking her about her belief system, and she told me that she comes from a family of Protestants. And I asked her, "Does other members of your family also meditate the same way that you do?" She said, "No, she's the only one." So I was trying to be very curious, and I asked her, how did she come to this, how did she start this, journey and everything? She told me that one day she just woke up and she realized that she needs to meditate and to stay in the present moment. A very little girl talking about things that even some people don't understand at an older age. So a family of religion, a religious family that she came from, Protestants, she's the only one into spiritual practices and stuff like that. And she was doing this secretly. Even her family members didn't know that she was doing this. That is when I identified that she was actually a curse breaker in the family. So you are always going to move different. Your journey will be different, your belief will be different, and all these other things will happen. But whatever it is going on in your life, you just have to get the confirmation from this video. You're a curse breaker, you're a cycle breaker. At some point in time, everything will match up and everything will make sense. It will all make sense at the end. Okay? So let me know what to think about the video. I know that one or two or three of these signs resonate. You can drop us a comment of what you think in the section below. You guys do know I do love and appreciate your support. Please book a session if you want to. You may donate or support my channel if you want to. Everything you need, you will find it in the description below. And until then, I will catch you guys in my next one. Denzemo signing out. Much love and blessings. Peace.